Good morning. I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. I got this thing going on with my lungs, kind of, whatever that. It's not lungs. This little tickle in the throat. I mentioned it yesterday when I was. Whoops. I'm trying to look at the comments on this so I could that because when I go live, if you comment before I come on, I can't see it. Anyway, yeah. So let's talk about the symptoms, and I'll go. Vegan Vixen was first. Carmen's first. Okay, there's this cute argument or love chat going on. Um, all right, so let's talk about these symptoms, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on for many of us. Um, and others are finding that it's relatively uh, euphoric. I could say that that's mostly been my experience, probably today and yesterday. It's hard for me to remember when I was in discomfort because we move on from it. We're no longer there, so it's not like a problem or a thing. Though I did have a difficult day. I think it was Friday. I don't remember. Anyway, I wanted to talk about some of these symptoms. Let's go through them really quick. These are like the main ones. Like there's a lot more dizziness going on, a lot more. And it's difficult to call it dizziness. We're finding that like using many different descriptors to make one word is more correct. So like it's vertigo like, it's dizzy like, it's lightheadedness like, all together in one, and with some type of disorientation, meaning it feels like, where's the ground? Where does gravity take us? And so when this started to happen for me originally, it was like, I think it was 2020 or 2021. I can't remember which one. And I found um I didn't want to drive as much, where I would delay, or I'd when I would go shopping, for instance, I'd get more things and just get the shopping done in one go, kind of thing. So I didn't have to go back. Um, this is really fascinating because the more that I looked into it and felt into it, I realized what was occurring for me anyway was this rebalancing into this new energy, and it's as if you're looking for where to put your feet on this new frequency, and it's really fascinating. Along with this, a lot of people are reporting shaking or vibrating from the core. This is really cool when it's not when it's happening to your body, you know. And remember, I'm not a doctor. If you feel any need to go see a physician or a doctor, please do. I don't go very often, though I have nothing against, at least going in and, saying, yeah, okay, cool, I'm good. Especially when it comes to these heart palpitations. A lot of people are having the heart palpitations. Those are really, they've been hard for me to be in a calm, safe feeling place. Um, there's like, sorry, I think I'm not sure if we're supposed to do that. I'm not. It's weird when you see cross talk your conversation in the chat and you're like, oh, she's yeah. Anyway, Facebook's a different world for me. I'm still not really oriented. Anyway, so this dizziness and also the vibration in the center, this vibrating or sometimes people call it shaking, sometimes from the core, but not always. Usually has to do with these energies moving through us. It's cool. It looks like a two-way road of energy. You know what I mean? It looks like one energy is coming in and like bringing in more light or whatever you want to call it. It feels like light. It is light. And then there's like the energy that's moving out, so it's the other direction. And so it does. And so this is the shaking out that also Archangel Michael was talking about. This will sometimes lead to like um, um, what feels like muscle spasms or severe twitching. What I mean by that's my choice of words, severe twitching, because it won't go away. I like when it happens, it drives me crazy. It's usually like right here, and it lasts on that same spot. At least for me, when it did originally, especially when this activation happened, this was in 2021, and it was really fascinating. That was when I was really involved in the group with a Guardian of Orion. He had gone live every week, and it was a thing that we did. And everyone was experiencing this. So it was like a few weeks, 2 or 3, and then it hopped. It went away for like a day, and I was like, yeah. And then it came over here, and then a long time, and then over here, gone for a minute, then over here, gone for a little bit, and then here. It like did this, like, and then it went down into larger muscle groups, um, muscle spasms, Charlie horses, things like that. This is what the message from Archangel Michael was talking about when he said the great shaking out. Because what it looks like inside of us, it looks like pipes, plumbing, and you see inside there's some kind of buildup in the corners. It's always just the corners. It's not like anyone did anything wrong. That's just where things collect. And so that's why we're having so much issues with our joints and stuff right now. Anyway, so as this energy moves through, this example, the light would be would be the representation of water or whatever's flushing out the pipe in the sink or whatever. As it moves through, it does have resistance. So there's a shake. There's a shaking and a discomfort and a swelling, because these flies, holy cow, it's crazy. It's just when I do this, whenever I wonder if I have a green screen behind me and it kind of captures them. But anyway, um, and so as it moves through and meets this resistance, the stuff that's pushing out, there's a shaking that occurs, a shuddering, as well as we will also find that light glows where water flows. That's the message that they always say. And that's why we get swelling. That's why an area of our body will swell. The water will collect in an area that requires healing. And from that healing place, the light can then spend time there. Light and water, when you take light and water and put them together, that is soul. That's what I got. It was like so cool and succinct when I got that information. That download came in. I was like, wow, it makes so much sense. We know that about plants and other forms of other kinds of life, though we don't. I hadn't considered it on a soul level, that water and light also makes soul. You need water and sunlight to grow a plant. You need water and sunlight to grow you. Those types of things. But anyway, it's really awesome. And that's why we put our hand in an area that's hurting, because not only is it swelling with water and bringing light there, but you're guiding more light there by sending the energy from the palm, from your healing hand, which you all have, to the area of your body that's in having a difficult time. So a lot of stuff like this going on. I'm going to grab some comments. Hello, Vanya. Good to see you. Hello, Deb Rose. Vanya says, so much going on. It's tough and challenging. Anyone foggy? Yeah, I'm totally disoriented. Yeah, I did. I think I said that earlier. This disorientation that I'm feeling is like, I'm not bothered by most of this stuff anymore. I think that I don't know if it's that I just am good, or I am uniquely blessed to have a lifestyle that allows for things to shift and to move enough when things come through, because I'm really not bothered. In fact, I'm not bothered by much of anything anymore, so much that I offend people. Apparently, you're supposed to be upset and bothered with people, or people can take it as you don't care. I don't care. I don't care about any of it, because it doesn't matter. You matter, not this thing you're spending your time distracting yourself on. When we're in the bad guys, good guys, when we're like distracted with, the distractions, we're distracted by the distractions, then, I have no desire to stop someone from doing that, only to remove myself. And if they're in my bubble, then I would love for them to remove themselves. And it's weird. Anyway, so yeah, I am getting the fogginess too, and it's like, whoa, that was kind of cool. I remember, was it yesterday? I think, yeah, it was yesterday. It was a great day. I had all kinds of things that I was going to get to do. And I heard myself say out loud, I just don't want to do anything. Are there any solar flares? And there wasn't any solar flares. I'm like, what's going on? There was definitely some serious energy coming in yesterday. It had we also had a conjunction, a solar conjunction. I can't remember. I have to look it up. I had written it down, and there's so much happening this month. It's crazy. I have a whole list. Um, so it was the Jupiter. Jupiter and the sun had a conjunction. And then on the 20th, the oh, that's really cool. I forgot about that comet, because it's over in the southern hemisphere. I forgot about it. Yeah, the comet's going to do some cool stuff on that day. I should talk about, before I forget, while we're doing dates, the 24th. The 24th is a big deal. Big deal day. If you're in the southern hemisphere, that would be the 25th. This particular day is a cool energy day. I'm looking forward to it. It's not scary. Um, I know a lot of people were like, oh no, big solar flash, and making this big deal. And I've always gotten that it's really not going to affect us. Like, it'll affect us in a good way. Like, we will notice it. And we are noticing it. The experience we just recently had, people are comparing to the Carrington event, being that we had the same type of experience that they did back in the 1800s, 1859 or something. I probably said the date wrong. If anyone knows what I'm talking about and I said that wrong, please let me know in the comments so we can get that correct. Anyhow, thank you. And we got the auroras as far south as the equator, into the equatorial region. We got some of this, the aurora borealis. The northern lights were in the south, right? And so that was only one of them. We're getting more. The prophecy tells us this is going to happen. And all the prophecies tell it. All of them talk about it, and the Lakota and the Rainbow Warriors, the white calf buffalo woman story. It also tells this at the end of it. The end of the story is, then the sun shall weep into the other ocean, and Mu shall rise again. Mu is the name that was given to Lemuria. Though I don't like to use those words anymore, because I'm finding people are associating that with a location. It's not. It's not a location. Neither was Atlantis. It's similar to saying Western culture or Eastern culture. It's a cultural experience. There's definitely a hub. You'll find hubs, the central station place of things. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to continue to get some of these things. It's going to be awesome, though. It's going to be really cool. Hello, Chocodell. I think, wait, Choc. Yeah, wait, I don't know if I said your name right. Chocodell Raw. Yes, totally. Hello, Carolina. How you doing? Vegan Vixen. Been sobbing and saying, I want to go home. I want to go home. It's happening several times a day, and I feel a great sense of sadness and longing to go home. What's that all about, please, Mila? A lot of people are having something like this going on, actually, in their own way. Like, this is your unique experience, and expressing it. So there's something that many people haven't been doing, and obviously you're doing a good job doing it, and that's allowing themselves to experience the grief and the mourning and the loss sensation in regard to moving away from these other energies that we had been in. You're saying goodbye to you. You're, in fact, I all of my guided meditations are always channeled. I don't plan them ahead. In fact, it's kind of a joke to me personally, inside, privately, maybe I say it out loud sometimes, is that I really have no idea what's going to happen. And what happened in this group meditation that we just did had to do with peeling away the old self and saying goodbye in some way, taking yourself back, because we've left ourselves in a different place, but we're not there for real. It's like an echo of us. And it's so, while we're doing this, we're going to be mourning it. We're going to, even if it sucked, man, this was what you've known your whole life, not just this life, but many. In most cases, this is a repeat mission. This is a return mission kind of thing, So we've been doing this for who knows how long. This is the frequency. This is the familiar. The misery is our familiarity. In most cases, and we're saying goodbye to familiarity. We're saying goodbye to certainty, predictability. And, predictability is part of the game that we played with ourselves in the society that isn't really a society, you know? And as we engage in this predictability thing, we found that we were actually creating this reality. As an example, how many of you have been invested in this? And I know I did it too for a long time. This whole Simpsons thing. The Simpsons can predict the future. What's occurring here is the same thing that they've done with the news for eons, ages, I don't know, long time, is that they've presented a place where many audience members will view this content and simultaneously together as one choose to manifest it in a group way. So we're choosing to manifest many realities simply by engaging in entertainment, by watching TV, watching the news, a lot of the things it plays out. And then there's also elements like what came first, the chicken or the egg, regarding some of these codes that we're picking up that are assisting us. It's fascinating to pull into the quantum and away from this physical dimensional frequency space, and finding that there are answers to questions and then more questions, and difficulty kind of presenting it, translating it. So I don't do doctors. Yeah. I mean, if I needed to, I would. Like if I felt like there was, Western medicine is so good if you have been in an accident. Like they're really good at repairing. But preventative care, keeping a person an individual healthy, they don't always know exactly what they are doing. It feels to me. And so in my experience, being that they're always practicing and they're really don't know what they're doing, if I'm seeing a doctor, I'm using my own discernment there too. We don't, many of the doctors I've experienced in my lifetime, at least on the doctors I have had, they may be different where you live. There's this belief that the doctor knows best, so just do what the doctor tells you to do. And if there's some type of resistance, then it's assumed that that person's insane, or that person is like wants to harm themselves. Like, oh, good, I'm gonna die, kind of thing, And it's this whole thing, and I strongly suggest, no matter how much browbeating an individual gets, no matter how much gaslighting you may be receiving from the medical world, listen to your own gut. Listen to yourself. If when seeing a doctor, the doctor's giving you sound advice or not. Most of the time, in my experience, they're guessing. I don't know what's wrong with you, but here, take this medication that has a bunch of side effects that we don't know about for the next 10 years, because that's how the FDA works. I know that field. I was there. They don't have to actually do human trials for as long as they should. Only 6 months. It may be a little bit longer now, but it takes 10 years. 10 years to discover if there's going to be some of these side effects. And so, anyway, I don't want to get too distracted by this, but thank you for your comment on it. Me too. Vesper, that makes sense. Used to have the dizzy vertigo for years, and it was so uncomfortable. That was funny. Kind of years, like unwanted astral projection. That's really, really well put, actually. Thank you, Vesper. And I love astral projection. It changed, more tolerable now somehow. Yeah, it was like we were part out of our body yeah. And then there were times where I would be walking down the road. I'll take this down so you can see me. I was walking down the road, and then I would feel like these are my legs, let's say, but I would feel like my energetic, my spirit legs were in front of me as I walked down the road. It was really uncomfortable. It'd always be here. I think that had something to do with the Kundalini experience. This was at a young age, though I thought it was really uncomfortable. SS, greetings, beautiful souls. Yesterday, my ascension pains in my knees and hands were high. Yep. And of course, ibuprofen didn't help, but CBD did. And that's high vibration and helped me meditate and then sleep. I'm glad you're able to get some sleep in and some meditation. Meditation is just as important. If you don't meditate, allow yourself to try it. Even 5 minutes a day, at first, as long, you don't have to try to commit to it, because we'll often start meditation, like exploring meditation, and we'll go and find a guided meditation. We're like, oh, that sounds cool. That'll do this for me, or that'll do that for me. And then we start it, and it's like an hour long or something. And, early on in meditation practice, many of us can't do that. It's not easy for us to do that, you know? And so allow yourself to do smaller amounts, you know? The goal here is to regulate the breathing and the heart in alignment, and then allowing the release of all the things that you're kind of like, because we get the tension is us holding on to things. Emotional bodies, emotion, energy in motion. It's meant to go, and we hold on to them. And then after a while, it's like being in the grocery store and not getting a shopping cart. You're just like, I gotta hold all this stuff, and like they don't want to be there anyway. And so allowing ourselves to release it through this breathing practice and to calm the self and to find that center again, to find that peace, then all things become doable, easy to do. It's really cool. So I'm really happy you're able to meditate. Yeah, the joints are a thing right now. Hands, feet. The reports on the knees and shoulders and hips, but in particular, and these weird outbreaks around these areas too. It was really cool. I actually got this weird download. So I had a question. All of a sudden, like they showed me in my mind's eye going down in a microscopic way down into the pores of my body, because I have not had a word. I'm like, it's not acne, it's something, I don't know what to call it. They're like, dude, what this is all the gunk that the sweat's supposed to push out. And there's so much of it. You're detoxing. That's what we're doing, is we're purging toxins. So we are detoxing, on a global scale. And everybody has their own different thing, but that's what that is. It's not, because it's not as it, but there's something that releases from it. And it's the stuff that's leaving your body. So, Kenny, hi. I started rubbing my eyes deeply minutes before you talked about Maddie reminding you to rub your eyes. Whoa, that's cool. It was like a hit of release button. Sinuses opened up, but my eyes look fine. That's awesome. That's really cool. There's a lot of this sinus stuff going on, lung, throat. This area, I would say, is affected by more people than not. The other most common report is lower GI. Hey, it's 222. Hold on a second. I got a big bang. I got to make sure she's okay. She dropped something. I just wanted to be sure she didn't fall off of something. You never know with those kids. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah. Also lower GI stuff, and just all the purging that's coming on with that. Like IBS like symptoms and or constipation, and everybody seems to have something about hemorrhoids right now. So there's a lot of home remedy, natural ways to assist you through all of these things. They don't feel as immediate as the pills will, though they are longer lasting and they feel better. It's the difference between like when your body is kind of hungry and you eat like Doritos versus you eat like a Brussels sprout or an orange or something good that my body tends to always like. It's that clean rejuvenation feeling. That's the difference. I don't know how to explain it. So yeah. Carmen, Kenny, no, Chris O'Connor stole my pre-birth story. I don't know what you're talking. Oh, but I do know what you're talking about though. But I don't, that's really, I think that you're having oh, I see up here. I think I skipped some comments to each other. Carmen, it's good to see you. Hello, Sprite 400. Good to see you. And Janet's here too. Hello. Good to see you, sweetie. Highly recommend Tone's interview. His YouTube is fantastic too. Life is but a dream. Oh, I love that song. Tone's interview. I'll have to find that. Good afternoon, Colleen. So tired today, having a hard time keeping my eyes open. Feel so lazy, and I have things to do. I know. Me too, dude. Oh, Man, and I got out of bed and my daughter was still asleep and I was like, screw it. I'm going back to bed. And I did. And you know what? When I don't get out of bed and move around and do stuff, my kid stays asleep a lot longer. But maybe she was as tired as we are. You know, these kiddos are having these ascension symptoms too, in some way, as well as the fur babies. A lot of you will find, oh, where did you take my crystals again? Well, I'll use this. I have this. Many of you will find that if you desire to assist your fur babies and alleviate some of their symptoms, you can. So let's say this is their head, taking a crystal. I know this is kind of, and just from the top and just kind of pet them down through their back as far as they'll let you, down past their tailbone and even to their tail if they'll let you. Just a smooth, like petting kind of motion. This does really help them. Being that this helps the animals, what do you think it'll do for you? A lot of people will put these crystals underneath their mattress, aligned in a certain way. I'm not sure how you know when you're sitting right on it or whatever, but this helps people in a lot of rebalancing. What it kind of does, if you can line it up in a perfect way or close enough way, you'll find that what your body is basically doing is putting everything back on the shelf where it came from. We have this chakral migration that happens, and when you go into a person's body energetically, you see colors all over the place from chakras that are helping in different areas, you know, and it just needs to get put back. And when they're scattered too much, we feel scattered, we feel unnerved, we feel all kinds of unpleasant experiences energetically, emotionally. And so this does help us. Jessica, I have found when the solar flares in KP are high, I feel pretty good. It's when those levels go back down is when I feel my body reacting. Interesting observation. I kind of think that I'm the same now. I didn't used to be. I didn't used to be. That's fast. Thank you for that observation. I wonder if that's what my Friday experience was. I don't know. I have been really elated, you know, like it just feels like we've found that perfect spot, that perfect place when all things are just going falling into alignment in the most perfect way. You know, it's beautiful. And you know, the only thing that I am anxious about is getting to finally finish moving into my apartment. We're in the apartment, and I really am hopeful that the furniture, so we have a couple of beds and a couch that are going to get moved there, and I don't have a truck to do that, but I know someone who's going to help me to do that on Thursday. This will make it so we will be in our new place, in this new energy, in this new frequency place, on Freedom Day, on the 24th. We call it Freedom Day. My daughter and I have been celebrating this day for years. It's just so cool that this particular year there's so much happening on that day, pointing at that day. There's so much things, so many things. Jason, welcome. Good to see you. Jackie, hi Mila. Hi everyone. Sending love from Scotland. Woo, woo. And the Scottish are such cool people. I love that culture. I'm from that culture too. I'm from so many, we all are. I'm a mutt. I am everything, you know. But I would say of all the genetics that I have, it's the Swedish that really shouts out. Everybody looks like my grandma in my family. And then my daughter too. I mean, her dad's Greek, you know, and she's very Swedish looking. Swedish and Scottish are probably the ones that are really shouting through. Great meditation, Mila. Thank you. Oh, yes. Thank you. That was a really cool meditation, this peeling away of things that don't serve us and recollecting ourselves to what's what is us. By the way, excuse me, I have this audio and I've posted it in our Telegram group. For those of you who aren't in the Telegram group, there's a link to it in the description of this video. If you're on Facebook, it's above it. I think there's a whole bunch. I write that in a YouTube format. I come from YouTube, so that's just. Though, if you're not in the group, you can join for free. And when we do these group meditations, I typically will post them after the fact. Though I've not I've only done a couple of meditations that are designed specifically for just an individual. Like it's not meant, and it wasn't meant to be done more than once. Every other one of these meditations, they've always said something like, you can do this meditation as much as you'd like, or do it at, every couple this many days or something like that if you want to. And it's really cool because sometimes you'll feel your own energy while you're doing the meditation, and in that moment you're going to do the meditation again, because when we join a meditation, we're joining all the energies who've already done it and who are going to do it. So it's really powerful. It's really cool. Anyway, that's in the Telegram group that Jenna was talking about. That's in the Telegram group now. If any of you are interested, it's the audio file that I posted. I've been so busy that I've really not had taken the time to sit and write much of anything to anyone lately. So it's been good busy. It's just very busy. Debs is emotional the last few days. A lot of us are. It's been weird because I'm in euphoria and I'm like, glee and yay and joy and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, sad. Just for a second, like an echo of sad, like it's almost like beginning to be a tear in the throat. And then it's gone. And it's like, wow, that was weird. And that's happening a lot. Some people I've talked to have been crying for days. And, crying is so healing and so releasing. I encourage you to rinse with salt water, and kind of drink a little bit of it too. And this will rehydrate you. This will help. This is a sacred spiritual technology, crying. This is something that the Pleiadians hold at high regard, and this is a gift that we have, the ability to just release. Something that I found in order to segue from the sadness crying and to join into the happiness crying, everybody has their own little trick that works for them. This was about a year ago. I found this. I started to watch on YouTube. I found these videos called Random Acts of Kindness. And, you'll find examples of it everywhere. There's so many of them. And just watching people be nice to each other, all of a sudden, I mean, we're crying like those old like Hallmark commercial things, where the ladies are just crying in tissue box. And just the cries, the tears of joy, the tears of gladness, of celebration of the human, of the bonds, of the connections, of the community. We are communication in unity, community. As we communicate and share, rather than having a one-sided and a dictatorial situation going on, you find that there's this flow of harmony, this beautiful energy that we can all embrace. It's awesome. I got off on a tangent again. Carolyn, first time caught you live. Hey, good job. Welcome. I found you by accident on a really scary night. Thank goodness for you. I thought I was losing it. So grateful I'm not alone. Although I don't actually physically have, I'm assuming you mean having anyone else there with you. Yeah, that's true for most of us. I'm so happy that you found us. Welcome deeply from all of us. This is a beautiful place to be. If you would like to join our Telegram group, this is also a community of support here. I don't know how active it has been lately. I haven't had much time to really look at it. I'll post and then bolt, typically, not because I just don't have the time. But I will be back into doing that again. This is also it's really cool about the group is that there's people from all over the planet, and there's usually somebody awake at the time that you're typing, that will type back, so you don't have to feel so alone. Sometimes we're having crazy symptoms and we're like, is anybody else having this symptom? And it's so great. At the very least, you'll see people who click in the heart, yes, me too, thumbs up, me too, and that really helps us get through the moment sometimes. So I'm really happy that you found us. You got this. It doesn't feel like it sometimes, but the more that you're around others like you, of us, the easier it is to do, I find, because then you don't invest so much in what's wrong with me. Could we all like and share? Oh, thank you. Can we all like and share so others can find and watch this? Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, the more you want to share out, the better. The more people can find out that they're not alone, the better. That's why I do this. You know, I don't do it for, popularity. Like Carolyn said, we felt very alone, all of us, all by ourselves. And man, right now there's so many people that are awake, but they're still in bed. That kind of awake, where they're like, I don't want to get out of bed, 5 more minutes, but not really sleeping. And and so there's going to be a need for us to kind of know where to point people to, you know, just and it's really neat. It's really cool because then you'll start to find people in real life, in your everyday life, the dry cleaner, the grocery store clerk, and so on and so forth, that are also privately awakening and thinking that they're crazy and don't want to tell anybody because no one will believe them and all this kind of stuff. And we find each other because there's so many of us now. Kenny, several times this week, my neck involuntarily bends/feels like a small adjustment while feeling like I walked into a higher timeline. I'm getting this too. I started getting this in October, I think, when I was still in Washington. It to me, I actually feel the energy touching both sides right here and then lifting up. Like I feel it lifting me up. Like, and I do there at first, I felt my spine go pop, 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 pop. It was like, whoa, but it wasn't like the scary, freaky kind that the chiropractor does. It was like really gentle. And I've felt taller and taller every day. I feel like I should measure myself because this has been happening at least every few weeks. Though there's been times where it's, more than once a day where this has happened. It's really cool. It doesn't feel uncomfortable at all. Um, I'm also finding that I can feel and sense hands on my shoulders and neck, like from behind in support of me, a lot more often than I could before. Meaning, and I'm not seeing any one of these particular. I can feel them, like they're not presenting themselves visually like is typical. Though sometimes I'll see a flash, an image that they give me in my mind of their face, usually their eyes, nose, just kind of like a zoom in, kind of this is me. Um, they're lovely, these energies. They're coming in to support us, to encourage us, and to propel us forward. We're doing a lot for everybody, not just ourselves, the whole, and not just the planet. It affects everyone. As we upgrade, as we improve, I don't know a better word right now, so does everyone else. It goes like this, so it's really, really cool. Edward, seeing a lot of activity in my peripheral vision. Cool. It's coming on. All right. So the trick is to not jerk, right? To not be in a place of fear. And so I found the solution to this is to send love to it. Send love to it. Like where you just like what it feels like when in your body, just before you say I love you to somebody that you love a lot, like a child or a parent that you hold dear, that feeling, and it send that feeling at the energy, to the energy as a gift. And if it's not of higher frequency, then it will send it away. Though if it is of high frequency, if it is of love, it will return this love that you send to it, magnified by quantity. And you'll find it's really cool. And then they start coming in more too. And then it helps us to know that they're high frequency. So you don't have to be in the place of like fear. The startlement though, I still react to the startlement. So I've had my some energy still come in and just pop in. But most of the time now, because I've asked them to kind of do a like a, hey, let me know you're coming kind of thing. I'll see like a spark of light that looks kind of like this. It looks like a sun or a star that's like that with a lot of, it's really pretty. It's like, it looks kind of like Star Trek when they started to teleport. And I'm talking about like forever ago Star Trek. And there's like a little light in the middle. Anyway, that comes in and then they come forward. It's like they're knocking on the door. And so give yourself, I came up with that. Everyone has, you can use that or anything. This helps because then you know that they're coming. The one thing that spirit does not want is to alarm you or to cause you any kind of unneeded, unpleasant experience. And so they do everything gradually and cautiously enough to avoid any difficulty for you. So if we are scared of them, they'll go away. For the most part, they won't be as strong in our experiences. Hi, Barbie. Good to see you. Love you. Jackie, hello. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon, Maria. Uh, what kind of crystal to use on pets or ourselves? Any specific one? I find that is if they're a wand, if you're tracing, if you're doing like I said, I was with the a wand works best. I got this one wand, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, and I was using that, and apparently that particular one is meant for a lower orifice. I didn't know that. So I'm like walking around with this crystal that, I mean, it would never been used that way, but anything that has a point to it. Um, these types of things too are pretty cool. I find though, when it comes to this type of work, you typically, the most powerful ones to use most often. I mean, you might find that obsidian, things like that would help too, depending on what's going on. Clear quartz crystal, it tends to be the best in this type of thing. So like a wand or something that has a point to it is really useful. I've also used selenite wand. They're really easy to come by. There we have like so many of these little ones all over the place. They're really useful. That's what I was looking for. Oh, hey, here's one. One of these would work just as well. Anything like that. Though, yeah, I feel that the quartz crystal or the selenite, this type of thing really is the most powerful. You will find guidance for what's needed though. You know what I mean? Like try whatever you got. Whatever you got. You don't have to go out and buy things to do this. Whatever's available to you, you know. Most of us have a crystal when it comes into the circles that we keep. Joshua, hey y'all, high vibes and gracious living to all. Yeah, dude, man, we are in such amazing place right now. You have another comment? I'm gonna grab it real quick. Hey, high vibe community, I have wanted to rejoin the Telegram group, but haven't been able to due to my phone not working any longer. Oh, I can't verify my number using it. I don't know how to solve that problem for you. Telegram's something that I have found during my long time absence from Facebook, and I find that the frequency is higher is why I use it, and I will still regularly attend these groups in Telegram, but typically not in Facebook. It feels like someone's tapping on the back of your head the whole time that you're in Facebook. There's an energy that's unpleasant for me. So I don't spend a lot of time there. I don't know. Maybe someone here, does anybody know how to help to get this Telegram working so you can use a different without verifying a telephone number? Amanda, hello. I have felt so lost, not bad or good, just have no idea what I'm doing or supposed to be doing most of the time. I want to sleep all day, but then I feel crappy that I lost the day. This is something that every one of us needs or at some point learns to remove the guilt associated with this. I did go through a period too where I was sleeping a lot more than I really thought that I should be. I was using the old conditioning of being lazy and having the shameful guilt thing that, I didn't have anything to show for my day. Well, you know what? We're doing a lot of work. We're doing a lot of energetic work that you can't produce evidence of always, but you're doing a lot. And it's okay to get the sleep. In fact, it's encouraged. Rest and sleep. It's the same recipe or remedy for any kind of cold or anything like that we're doing right now. There's no cold, though. It's the same type of thing. Allow yourself to consider what's most useful for you when you're in this state, and then use that for now. Also, a lot of resting, maybe not exactly sleeping, simply just being at rest, like daydreaming with your eyes closed or open, just letting yourself be in the calm state of the now. It's okay to do that. It's not lazy. You're working. You're working, and you're undoing a lot of false anchors to a paradigm that no longer exists. And it's self-perpetuated only due to the investment that it has by the individuals participating in it. So as we allow ourselves to be in this restful state, we slowly pull away, a little hair at a time. That makes a lot of sense. That was really cool. I love it when downloads and channels come through with questions and lives. Thank you for that trigger. So that makes a lot of sense. And allowing ourselves to, so what you're doing is you're spending time in manifestation, basically, when you're in rest, and allowing yourself to do that it's helpful for everybody. Hello, Leona. Hello, Mila. Love, light, and joy to you and all on chat. Thanks for your work, and love you. Give to others. It is 5:30 a.m. here in Australia. Oh, wow. 5:30. Yeah. So that was 16 minutes ago. I'm that far behind in my comments. There's a lot of really awesome comments coming in. Carolyn says, thank you, Vegan Vixen. Okay. Because they are talking to each other, I'm going to let them have their private conversation. I shouldn't have grabbed that. Laugh out loud. The Swedish won for me too, says Vesper. I'm 75% Mexican, but the Swedish is most obvious. Isn't that fascinating? I'm an 8th Cherokee Navajo. Yep. My daughter's a 16th. You know, we are when I was younger, I didn't take any color on for the sun. Like I would just burn, peel, and go white again. Though I learned to stop using sunscreen and I stopped burning. I'm not going to go there. But anyway, so my friends used to tease me that because the flesh tone Band-Aids were darker than my skin. And so they got the clear one. They're like, they found a flesh tone that belongs to you. It's really funny. The reason I wear makeup too is that my eyelashes are white. Like I have these pale, invisible eyelashes, and my eyes disappear when I don't put on makeup. But I really am feeling strongly encouraged to stop wearing it. I just don't like it anymore. Watch The Land Before Time, says Joshua, the other night. The animated movie. I love that movie. I loved that when I was younger. Pretty sure it came out when I was like in my 12 or 13. I can't remember. Anyway, the animated movie with the little dinosaur children. And oh man, did the waterworks flow. Awesome. Yeah, that's a good movie for a tearjerker. Interesting point. I probably wouldn't have thought of that, but you're right. I should watch that again. My daughter would like it. Light activator. Good to see you, sweetie. Thank you. Oh my goodness. We are in such an amazing energy. Thanks for coming, bringing that energy forward for us, man. And it's only just begun. It's only just begun. We are starting to embrace the now that we're in so much more that it's therefore more attainable by all. It's really cool. And so when there's more people doing it, the stronger it is. Just like in meditation. Have you noticed how much more impactful a group meditation is when there's more people present, right? Even if it's remote. For instance, oh, by the way, so any of you who do like to do group meditations and are interested in trying somebody else out, Brian Scott, Reality Revolution, Brian Scott, typically will post a group meditation, a pre-recorded group meditation every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central. That would be 7 a.m. Eastern Australian time. And the cool thing about him posting it at that time, though, is that so many people globally join simultaneously at the same moment. And so you have thousands and thousands of people doing this meditation together in this collective consciousness way. It's so beautiful. And it teaches us telepathy, it teaches us community, it teaches us this exchange of Reiki that we're constantly doing already behind the scenes and maybe not really fully realizing what we're doing. It's really useful. If not something like that, come join some of our groups that we do. We do meditations every week. The small group that I do does have a charge. It's $50 a month or $15 per group meditation, and usually it's about 2 hours or longer. The group meeting, and then the meditation itself is typically between. There have been meditations that have been in the 35-minute range, though usually they're around 45 minutes to an hour long. And so if anyone's interested, reach out and let me know. We have seats available. Carolyn says, I've tried to join Telegram group without success. I don't know. I was able to do it right away, but I do remember thinking that it's odd that it requires your phone number. This is the way that I talk to Stacy. I talk. Stacy's in the UK, and what we do is we just do the video chat on Telegram and just don't turn the camera on, and it's a free conversation, and it doesn't have that staticky kind of energy coming through that most of these types of services have. It's really useful, though. I don't know how to help anybody troubleshoot. I used to be techie. I was known as the person that could fix a computer. And then I went off grid and computers like morphed, like someone gave them steroids. And like, what happened to DOS? I don't know what's going on anymore. It's the people say it's simpler because you can click a big chunky picture that they call an icon. But how do you get to it? And it's really weird. I don't have a smartphone, only a Nokia analog, so can't join any of these groups. Oh, I won't have one because of tracking and tracing. That makes sense, Vegan Vixen. Yeah, I know that I have Telegram on my computer, but I think that I had to put a phone number in there to and I had to text or receive a text code to prove that was the number that was mine. But I don't know. Though, you can't join Telegram. Well, Vegan Vixen, why don't you send me an email if you want me to send you any of these audios? I'm happy to share. I'm not trying to get rich here. That's not my goal. A simple exchange of energy is what we do. The reason there's a charge to the group is that this is in place of having a session at that time. And it's actually, it's not, I don't end up leaving the table with as much as I would if I had a session, though not everyone can afford to join. On a one-on-one session. So these groups are pretty small. Typically they're between 5 and 8 people for these groups that we have. And we'll go through and we'll answer questions and have conversation and do group meditations and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, if you want the audio, please send me an email and I will pass them on. They take a little bit to upload is all. Jackie says, was out yesterday along at canal feeding ducks, swans, etc. The clouds were so fluffy and pure, bright white. I defo believe it's cloaked craft as I could see the silhouette of a being in violet blue white. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. It's fascinating how many of them are coming through cloaked this way. It's really cool. It really has started to make me wonder. When I was younger, I used to talk about stuff that, a lot of people made a big deal about. I would notice something in the clouds and I would talk about it like it was real, and I would get laughed at and no, dude, there's really stuff going on out there. How do you charge or program your crystals? Is it even necessary? Great question, Lisa. So there's a lot of different tools and techniques. I do find it necessary. It collects all these different energies that we don't typically need exactly. It's helping to clear these energies as they come through. Anyway, the moonlight, a full moonlight, whenever there's a full moon, you can tell it's the full moon's coming, because I always have my crystals lined up on the ledge near the window where the full moonlight will cross its path. You can also put it in salt over a 3-day period. 3 to 7 days is, I've heard different things. I remember growing up, my dad used to do 7 days. But he was not the best energy. He didn't keep the company a very good energy either. So anyway, salt bath, like just having it buried in salt completely. Some people will put water in it to kind of, if they don't want to use all that salt, if it's a larger crystal, and then discard the salt afterward. I wouldn't consume it after that. Another way you could do it is to bury it in the ground, especially if you have a tree to bury it next to in the ground. I find that closer to the roots of a tree, the more charged it gets. You'll find also Fey energy comes through it in this way. Though if we bury it in the ground, it takes longer. You could leave it in there for months, you know. There's a lot of different tools and techniques. Another thing that people use, so this is selenite. It's this cool crystal that when you put it up against your eyes, this is what it looks like when you're looking at higher beings, right? You remember how, like, when you look at a light with it. Anyway, they make bowls and plates out of this stuff. This kind of crystal, you don't have to clean this kind, and it clears the energy of other crystals. So some people will just put them in the bowl or the plate and just keep them cleaned that way. There's a lot of different things like that, but most crystals do require that to be cleansed, to be recentered, just like all things. It charges it, and it expels that which is not needed. So Maria, oh cool, I have a selenite wand. Thank you. Yes, you're welcome. I'm excited for you to try it. This is really cool. You watch it really help. Janet, put Telegram on your laptop or iPad. Yeah, I do use it on my computer more than the phone, though I'm back and forth. So it just depends, I guess. Yeah, you're welcome, Lisa. Oh, I think the other people gave you. Okay, here we go. Kenny, I program my crystals with my intention. They all work with my crystalline grid within for my best and highest good. That's a really good comment. Thank you. Thank you, Kenny. Something else about having a wand. A wand means it's pointy, right? Some of the wands you'll find are actually like more pointy on the tip and things like that. Is that if you place crystals, and again, all crystals are awesome. Whatever you have is amazing. This is what we're actually doing in our new place. It's really fun. Is that so? When you know where you're going to be spending your time, you want to create a grid of your room. So you get a crystal and put it in all 4 corners or something like that, and then crystals in along the way and whatever you using a wand or some type of pointing crystal, touching, ding, just like I have to keep looking because I keep thinking I'm hitting the mute button. Ding, touch the crystal and draw a line to the next one. Ding, ding. I typically am always guided to go counterclockwise, anti-clockwise, left to around to right, rather than the other way. And crossing in the in-between too. So now you know where you're going to be spending your time. Let's say this is a sitting room where you spend time, reading on your phone, eating, watching TV, wherever it is you spend your time the most. And try and direct the cross section. So there's the corners of the room, and then there's a cross section, right? So you put like an X through it. Line it up if you can make it so it crosses through where you spend your most time. This area will be the highest frequency place of your house, of your home. And this will be a place that you'll really feel recharged to go to. I always do this in a place I'm going to do sessions, like this room has. It's this is a sacred room, and that's probably why I have had so many animals and species come into this room specifically. Though the tarantula went in my daughter's room. Yeah, y'all heard that right. Freaking wild tarantula showed up in Maddie's bedroom. And she was super calm. She was like, there's a tarantula in my room. I was like, wait, what? And yeah, it was big. It wasn't like a micro little guy. I mean, it was literally the size of I've been told my whole life, especially since I started doing sign language, I have freakish ET fingers. That was back when ET was the name for that character, the movie ET. And people would be distracted by my finger. Anyway, it's really a big spider, and it's just like just hanging out. Oh my gosh, that was so wow. Anyway, I've done that to my daughter's room too, and I've done it to my bedroom too. The places we spend our time, we have energy, frequency, and intention set with using crystals, with using meditation, with using words of intention. You know, we choose what energy is in the space that we keep. Often we'll notice, we won't even realize that we notice, our energy feels clutter. It does. And our energy reaches out at least 50 feet in diameter. So wherever you're sitting, wherever we spend our most time, if we notice that there's a lot of clutter around us, that's why the minimalists exists. There's the pendulum, right? And the more clutter that you have in the space that you keep, the more that it feels like your soul is distracted, if that makes any sense. So anyway, if you can keep the area you're spending time in that you cleared in the crystal way, clear of clutter, it will help. It will assist you as well. So, oh my goodness, I just scrolled down. Thank you so much, Vegan Vixen. Oh, I love you. Thank you for the 1111. Thank you for your awesomeness. Thank you, Vegan Vixen. That was so generous of you. And I got another one here. Maria, thank you so much. $20. Thank you for being you by sharing your knowledge. RE Ascension Symptoms. Thank you so much. Very, very much. Oh my goodness. You guys are so amazing. I am humbled by the generosity of you all. Oh, like I don't have a lot of needs. You know, I'm good. I don't need much to be happy. And neither does my daughter. Though we're moving into a place after having left everything behind and given it out to people. And I'm glad that it became useful for others. And then we found ourselves in a situation where we're moving into an apartment now, you know, temporarily and for at least a year. And we didn't have anything. And the generosity of y'all has made it possible for us to, you know, we went and got plates yesterday. I was so happy we were going to have real plates instead of like plastic ones or disposable ones, you know, and we were able to get, you know, knives for the kitchen. I got a pan so I can cook, you know, I got a kettle so I can have tea. I need to have a kettle. I guess that is a need of mine. I need a kettle. and you guys made it possible. And so I am humbled and grateful. Thank you all so much for your generosity and for your love and for being on this journey, for doing this work. Like, it doesn't feel that great sometimes, you know? It's not always easy and it's not always fun. And doing it together as one makes it doable. So thank you all. I have to get going. I have a session next after this. And I thank you. Oh, let's grab this really quick. Kenny says, as a baby, I straight up looked like an alien. Huge head, long, skinny body, born near a meteorite site. Wow. Moldavite feels like home. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. You know, when I was younger, we have weird ears. My daughter and I have weird ears. People call them star child ears because they have like, they're kind of pointy. It's kind of funny. But anyway, I love you all. The hummingbird has shown up just on the other side of this monitor is my window. And the hummingbird has come to say hello. And the symbol of hummingbird is joy. Be in joy and know that you're not alone. We got this. It's a little bit longer before it's a little easier to do, and remember this coming Friday, the 24th or the 25th, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, is a day of amazing energy, of assisting energy. And with the moon that's coming in at that time, technically the night before, I suppose, it's going to make it stronger. It's going to swell the energy that we're being given at that time. Not to mention June 3rd, there's like 7 planets in a 7-planet parade happening, but that's down the road. Anyway, I love you all. You got this. I love you. Like, I really do. I really do. Do you feel that? I feel that. Thank you for sharing the love with me.